Okay, here we go. So we're live. We got a poor connection right now. Hold on, let me mute this. How you guys doing? All right, so I figured we might as well get together and talk about this weekend because it was crazy. Oh man, it was a lot of fun. So Lucas Bretz, Aquarium Co-op. So we got Corey from Aquarium Co-op. We had Lucas Bretz from LR Bretz Aquatics. We had Sashimi Whiskey and a lot of people come out. So it was just a blast. We had a live event yesterday. And I really enjoyed myself, had a great time, and so I figured I would just do a live video. We talked about it this whole weekend doing live videos, and honestly, I had a blast talking about it and doing them. So I figured, hey, why not just throw one together and get you guys all up to speed? So yeah, hey everybody, I'll say hi. We got Flat Earth Friends, we got Joshua, Brooklyn, Blackwater Aquatics, Owens. Aquariums. Sergeant Tank, what's going on, man? I'll be seeing you soon. You're gonna be coming out to the fish room, and that's gonna be a good one. So I hope you guys are having a great night. I mean, it's Sunday, so we're all just chilling out. I'm personally recovering from just the craziness that was this weekend. So yeah, you thought this was a video? Well, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, so it was this weekend was an absolute blast. Let me start with Friday. So Friday, Corey from Aquarium Co-op and Jim from Sashimi. I always call them Sashimi Aquatics, but it's Sashimi Whiskey. They came down and they got here. I think they got here about 12 o'clock, and we're like, well, hey, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some cokes and just chill, and it was a blast, but. Before we knew it, like the whole day, like it was 8 o'clock and all we did was talk. Like we didn't even do, no, they're not here anymore. So they are not here right now. They actually just left. So like this is like recovery time. I think Corey's on an airplane flying back, and then Lucas Bretz is on the road. Jim actually only lives like 45 minutes away. But yeah, so it was an awesome action-packed weekend. I wish you guys were able to make it for the live event. But that was a that was like a last minute thing. But we still had a decent turnout from it, and it was fun. So I look a lot better today. Oh, Jeff, what's going on, Jeff? Jeff is Jeff Swanson. He's actually my intern, or was my intern, and he came down yesterday for the live event, and so that was a lot of fun. So I don't have any. Let's see if I know how to make a moderator. I don't. Let's see. Manage moderators. I'll figure it out in a little bit. We really don't need them right now anyway. But anyway, so how are you guys doing tonight? We're just going to recap for the weekend and kind of just talk about everything that went down. All the new videos that are going to be coming out soon. And we got some awesome footage. Not just of my fish room. But of Eric Boderak's All Oddball Aquatics. We went down there and saw him, and it was awesome. Yeah, Corey is on a plane right now. As far as I know, he is on a plane. And so he's flying back. He had a layover, so he might be at his layover pretty soon. So maybe if we're lucky, he'll stop in and say hi. Let me do this. So is everybody having a pretty good Sunday? Well, how about this? Let me tell you a little bit about this weekend, then we'll answer some questions, and then we'll have a good time. But so Corey and Jim came down. They got here Friday at 12 o'clock, so afternoon. We just kind of hung out, talked shrimp, talked fish, and really just had an awesome day. And you know, we didn't get any video done because we were just having such great conversation. And so we're sitting there talking, like we did a tour around the fish room and all around the warehouse. And yeah, no problem. You're welcome for opening up the shop. But anyway, so we did the tour around the warehouse, and then we just were talking the whole time. And next thing we know, it like 4 hours went by, and then I'm like, well, hey, like let's go shoot some video in the fish room. Let's feed all the shrimp. And we go into the shrimp room, and the next thing we know, it like 2 more hours go by, and all the shrimp are done eating, and we didn't take any video. So we're like, man, well, we might as well go get some tacos, because I know Corey. There's Corey, yeah, he made it to Atlanta. That's awesome. I'm gonna board Seattle soon. Well, Corey, thank you for stopping in, man. We had an awesome weekend. And I enjoyed it, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and it seemed like everyone had a great time. And so yeah, so it was a great time. So Friday we went and we ate some tacos. The Taco Union was there, and actually we had burritos because they weren't hard shell, but that's a whole different conversation. Then we went back to the warehouse. We did some videos. Lucas Bretz got there late in the mix. My buddy Mark was there. He showed up, and we just kind of hung out, took some video. Next thing we know, we're on LR Brett's live stream. If you guys haven't saw that, his live stream was a lot of fun. And so it was a really good time. We were up to like, oh my goodness, we're up to like 4 a.m. on a live stream, and that is late. And then we got up at 8:30 a.m. to drive all the way down to Eric Bodrock's. Got some awesome footage there. I drank a extra large Dunkin' Donuts coffee and a Monster, and I was like, my stomach was killing me that morning. But it was a great time. Eric, if you guys ever get a chance, Eric lives in not Pittsburgh. He lives in like near Pittsburgh, and he has like the most amazing fish room, or fish rooms, I should say, because him and Regina, his fiance, they have separate fish rooms, which is, it's like every man's dream is to have a wife that is totally into aquatics and wants her own fish room. And so we were there, and I know Corey got some awesome footage. Lucas got some awesome footage, and so yeah, everyone just, you know, got some good stuff. And Eric, I think the coolest thing about Eric's fish room, which you guys will see this in future videos, so this is just leading up to it. He has a whole room that is like old aquarium stuff. Like, I'm talking like the oldest stuff you'll ever see in your entire life. He has like a windmill, right? You set it in the window, the wind blows through it, and it powers air into your fish tank. So it's like, it is crazy the stuff that he has. He has like these old tanks from, what is it? From like the 1800s, like something ridiculous like that. Toledo, Ohio. And no shrimp in this live stream. I mean, we got shrimp back here though. Check this out. Those are all those 10-gallon Dental display tanks. They're the Shrimp King tanks, and they're really nice, and we put them up. We got some shrimp that we really love that we wanted in there, so we put them in there. And glass tanks. No, I don't think they have the green tint. I don't know though. I'm colorblind. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm absolutely 100% colorblind. And it looks like we have a bad connection right now, but I'm on Wi-Fi, so hopefully that's not a huge deal. But we'll just kind of see how it goes. So this is my first live stream ever, which is a lot of fun. So it's cool to be able to just talk to you guys. But what time? Oh, so it's East Coast time here. So right now it's 6:55, so it's going on 7. So that's what time it is here. But thank you guys all for stopping in. Yeah, so okay, well, great. Thank you, Corey, that's good feedback. So yeah, so we got a good connection. Yeah, so Saturday we went to Eric Bodrock's, just had the best time ever. Sorry, I got a phone call. Let's see. Oh, it didn't freeze. Good. Okay, because I know Sashimi's froze the other day when he got a phone call. But yeah, so I don't even know. Where were we? Oh, we went to Eric Bodrock's. We came back. We did that live meetup. We had 5 awesome people drive all the way to come see us in a snowstorm, and it was really good. My wife wants me to call her. She doesn't know that I'm live streaming on my phone, so there's no option there. But it's all good. Something's probably wrong at the warehouse, which we call those 911s, and we always have that. You just kind of got to roll with it. Corey was talking about that, like every day there's a 911, like something always is going down, and so you just have to just roll with it and figure it out when you can. Rob, will you ever try to make purple Neocaridina shrimp? So, I don't really I don't really mix shrimp. Like when I buy shrimp, I buy them, I put them in a tank. I have an aquarium that is just for blue velvet shrimp, or it's just for yellow neons. And so, so I really haven't got into mixing different color variations. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just haven't got into that yet. And so, so maybe one day I'll try it out and just kind of see what happens and kind of just go from there. But that's not today. Right now I have a ton of tanks and I keep species only in each tank, and eventually once I get the next room set up, which will be more 10 gallons, I'll definitely I will more selectively breed once I have 10 gallons set up. But hey, shout out to Germany. That's awesome. Who is that? Realty Bites Kennel. So shout out to you. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Reality. Sorry, Realty. My mom's a realtor, so instantly my mind goes there. But shout out to Germany. That's awesome. It's so cool that we can make a video and we can touch the whole world and just kind of hang out and talk. So anyway, let me get back to the craziness of this weekend. So there was so much talk the whole time. Like we were constantly brainstorming. Like, Corey, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of this, Lucas? Or what do you think of this, Jim? And it was just one of those weekends that constantly there's these golden nuggets all over the floor, and you're getting all this information of how you can better yourself and better your business and better other people. And it's just I mean, it was the best weekend for just hanging out and talking and just having a great time. And so I think it's so cool, and I give Corey so much props for this weekend, because he got a hold of me. He's like, hey man, whenever you want me to come down, I'm going to come down, and I'm buying the plane ticket. I will be there. I want to film your fish room. And I'm like, okay, I've heard that before. It doesn't always happen. And we were just in Sashimi's live stream, and I just said something, and Corey was there, and he's just like, man, I still want to come down whenever. And the next thing we know, me and him are emailing back and forth, and Corey books his plane ticket, and 2 weeks later, here he is. So it was I mean, it was awesome. And so I give Corey a ton of credit for getting the plane ticket. He didn't charge me a dime. He just wanted to come here and hang out. And so that is super awesome. And then Lucas Bretz came down. He drove six and a half hours. Maybe it's 5.5, 6 hours to get here, because he's in Indianapolis. And then Jimmy lives an hour away, which is so cool. And so so we all just kind of came together, and it was just one of those YouTube weekends where 4 YouTubers just hang out, and you've never seen that before. And it was just it was so cool. It was so cool. And so how about this last night? So we had this long day. No one got sleep on Friday night, and we go through the whole day. We go and see Eric Bodrock's fish room. We come back, we have our live meetup, and everything's going good. Corey does a live stream, and we get back to the house, and it's 1 o'clock, and everyone is going strong. And I'm sitting back in my chair, actually I think I was laying on the floor. I'm just I can't do this. These guys, they have energy for days. I'm done. And so I think 1:30, I look at my wife, and I'm like, Amanda, I'm going to bed. You can stay up if you want, but I'm out of here. And even then, I usually wake up every morning 8 o'clock. This morning I woke up at 9:30, and I was still ready to sleep some more. So, so it was just one of those weekends. But if I had to pick my favorite thing that happened this weekend with everyone, it's so hard to decide. It's probably Lucas Brett's live stream. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out, because it was so much fun. We got to the point where we're 3, 2, 1, what's your answer? And everyone's answering, and we're talking about who do you think would have the smelliest feet? And it turned out that everyone thought that it was me. Yeah, thanks guys. But then it was who's most likely to get a tattoo on their face? And it was just some funny stuff. So it's all good. We really did have the best time ever. And so so hey, if you guys have questions about this weekend, let's talk about it. I want to fill you guys in before the videos hit, and we can get some of the background of everything that's going on, and we'll just talk about it. Weekend meeting of the minds. That is true. We called it a power trip, but it wasn't power tripping. It was a power trip because so many powerful things happened during the trip. And Corey, see you later, man. Have a safe flight, and we'll talk with you guys. We'll talk with you soon. Thanks for coming, man. Let's see what else we got. Some people tuning in. Hey, I found you. I found LR Brett's live stream. You seem like a cool dude, and watch a bunch of your videos. Another follower. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. And it's so cool. This is another thing that we came to the conclusion of. Like, I don't even know how many subscribers. Say I have 10,000 subscribers. Lucas Bretz has 3,000 or whatever it is, 4,000, 5,000. And like there's a ton of Lucas Bretz subscribers that have never even heard of me. And there's a decent amount of my subscribers that never even heard of Corey and Sashimi, that he has subscribers that never heard of any of us. And so it's so cool when we all come together and they're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know you existed. And so it's so cool to see that happen. So it's nice to be able to help one another and like, you know, do a live stream together. Or like, I think me and Lucas Bretz, we were talking today, we want to do a live stream and we want to get Mark with Mark's Shrimp Tank. So shout out to Mark. We want to get all the shrimp minds together and kind of like talk about some controversial things and see what everyone's opinion is. So I think personally, like if I was a hobbyist, like I would pay to watch that because I want to see like what everyone's opinion is, and it would just be so cool. And so that's what I'm gonna try to do. So if Mark jumps in here, we need to like get on him. Like, Mark, come on, live stream with us. And because Mark is like, he is so funny. Like I jump in his videos and like in the first like 2 minutes, like Mark has me laughing. So he's just a super cool dude, and he's doing really good at breeding shrimp. Like he is, and he gives good information. And that's the cool thing about YouTube is like information is free. Like we're all here to help each other. And so it'd be really cool to like get Lucas's feedback on something, my feedback and Mark's feedback, and like kind of fit the pieces together and tell each other like this is why I feel this way, and like kind of see like what we come up with together. So I think that would be a really cool live stream. And Lucas is all in for it. I'm all in for it. So now we gotta reach out to Mark and get him in on it. So if you guys are subscribed to Mark, drop a comment and be like, hey, LupDiesel and LR Bretz Aquatics want a live stream with you, and it would be a blast. What else we got here? Rob, you should definitely do more live streams, Q&A live streams about shrimp. Yeah, so I really never got into live streaming. It's just because, like, I don't know. I didn't know how to do it. Like, even though all you do is, like, press a button and, like, you're live streaming. It's kind of, like, always that thing. Like, you don't know how to do it until you, like, sit down. And I'm the type of guy that if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. I want to know, like, the software I need and, like, have the right camera. And I'm doing it on my Pixel phone. So, let me get a drink of water. I'm doing it on my phone, so, like, this is, like, if I had my way originally, I would have, like, got a camera and, like, set it up nice, and I would have live streamed that way. But why not just use what you already have? So I have a phone, and everyone's like, dude, just do it on your phone. I'm like, fine. I'm committing that on Sunday, once you guys leave, I'm going to do a live stream. And so here I am. It's always cool. And it's so fun just to talk to you guys. Like, I literally had so much fun. I did a live stream with KG Tropicals, and that was my first live stream ever, and we talked shrimp, and it was a blast. Like, 2 hours went by, and I didn't even know what happened, because me and him are just having this conversation, and you just answer questions and, like, answer each other's questions, and it just goes so quick. And then I did live stream with Corey and LR Bretz and Jimmy, and it was so funny. But bought Royal Blues from you last summer. They're all thriving. Thank you, man. You know what? If you're breeding them really good, what happened was I have sold so many Royal Blues that, like, once I reset their tank, all my old ones, like, kind of, like, died off, and I didn't have enough young ones. And so I'm actually really short on Royal Blues. So if you could, send me an email and be like, hey, I got your Royal Blues, and I will buy some off you to get my old genetics back. And that would just be, I mean, that would help me out a lot, and maybe it would help you out, I don't know. But, yeah, so Royal Blues are, like, my favorite shrimp ever, and I was so sad. I had a 40-gallon tank set up, and it was, like, my original colony. And I moved them to a new tank, and, like, they all just slowly, one by one, passed away, and I'm like, oh. every day my wife's like, I found a royal blue dead. I found another royal blue dead. And I'm just like constantly like getting jabbed in the heart. And so it really did stink. So that's how all that happened. That was a great live stream. Thank you. Thank you, Candy. That honestly, like, that was a fun live stream. I'd say both of the 2 live streams that I've done, they were equally as fun. The last one on Lucas Brett's channel was hilarious, just because it had nothing to do with aquatics, like, at all. Like, we were just talking like the most random things, and it was funny. I think it was Charles or something. It was somebody's fish tanks. Like, if he was in here, like, I would know who it was. But he was cracking me up. He asked us, like, what he calls Corey and the 3 shell dwellers. Like, that is so funny to me. Oh, it is Charlie's Fish Tanks, dude. I believe it was Charlie's Fish Tanks that was doing it, and it was like I was dying laughing the entire time. But yeah. So does anybody have questions about this weekend? Because a lot did happen, and so it's hard for me to like just go through and pick out little bits and pieces of it. But there was so many funny things. Jimmy, I know he doesn't have a really big YouTube channel. It's Sashimi Whiskey. That kid is awesome. Like, he's not a kid because he's older than me. He's actually a man. I'm the kid. But he was like so fun to hang out with. He's so talented in video editing, and I'm just like picking his brain. Like, what should I do with this? What do you think about that? And so it was really, really cool. So let's see, shrimp stream. Yeah, so let's talk some shrimp then. So I actually have. Oh, here we go. What was your favorite topic or conversation you talked about with Jim, Lucas, and Corey? What was my favorite? See, there's just so much. So for Jim, like, because I had individual conversations with everyone, I really enjoyed getting to know Jim. Jim, like, he has such a unique story, like his backstory, where he came from, and I don't know if he wants that shared, so I'm not going to share it. But like, it was so cool to like see like how he brought up his life and like where he came from and what he's accomplished. And so like if I could name one thing, like, I really enjoyed talking to Jim about that. Corey, I really enjoyed talking to Corey about just business. So like business and YouTube, like just about his business and how he does things. And like, Corey is one of the most open and honest guys. Like, most people, when they have something that really works, they're just like, well, hey, yeah, I'm not going to tell you because then you'll know, and then we'll both be doing it, and it won't be as good. But Corey's one of those guys that, like, he will tell you something. Like, if you ask him, you don't even have to ask him. Like, he's like, hey, man, like, if you want my opinion, like, I'll tell you how to do better on YouTube. And he'll, like, give me all these little hints and, like, work on this or work on that. And I was just like, man, like, that's so cool to have a person that is willing to just share and truly want you to succeed and help you. So Corey was especially known for that. So I value that information so much. And Lucas Bretz. So me and Lucas, since we're both shrimp nerds and he's a shrimp breeder, I'm a shrimp breeder, we had some very good conversations. So like, my favorite was talking about the rock piles that he does. Like, just getting to know why he thinks that these rock piles are so effective for breeding shrimp. And so he went through, like, you know, the rock piles are great and they colonize in them, and it's more of a safe place. And what clicked with me is he said that his rock piles represent a place that doesn't get disturbed. So the shrimp have like a safe place to go all the time. You're not constantly rearranging the rocks to catch shrimp. You're just leaving that shrimp or that rock pile alone. So they always have that safe place, so they always feel secure. Like, if you're screwing around on this side of the tank trying to catch them, they can run to this side of the tank, and that will be their rock pile. And you're not gonna disturb that. You can't catch shrimp from out under rocks. Whereas driftwood, you can pick up and you can catch them. And so so it made sense in that aspect. So I give him some credit that theory is something that is interesting to me, interesting enough for me to be like, I'm gonna try that in one tank or 2 tanks or 3 tanks, and see if I see a difference between the tanks that I have now versus the tanks that have a rock pile. And it sounds so silly, but once he said that, I'm just like, yeah, shrimp nursery, exactly. And so it just made a lot of sense. So that was my favorite conversation with Lucas. And Lucas, oh man, he tricked me into getting him some shrimp. So he didn't trick me. I wanted to sell him some shrimp. It was like towards the end of the weekend, like just today. and he's like, man, I really like super tigers and I really like your red tigers, both of which we don't have enough of. So I'm kind of like hoarding them, like breed them up and all that. And I'm like, well, you know, we don't really have enough. And Corey's like, well, hey, like, you know, if for some reason your population dies, Lucas knows how to breed them, so he could breed them, and hopefully he'll have babies, and you can always buy some back off of him if something ever happens. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what, Lucas? You know, you drove all the way here. We had a great weekend together. Like, let me get you a few of the babies of this and that. And so I didn't give Lucas. I sold Lucas some shrimp that I really didn't want to get rid of. And so Lucas, if you end up watching this, I hope you breed the crap out of them, and then we both have tons, just in case anything ever happens. We'll always have a backup source. So that's how I felt about that. But let me scroll through the comments. What's up, Flynn? Stephanie, Ball, it's going good. How are you? So like everyone's just having a good conversation. Yeah, I love it. Argentina, wow. Argentina, what's up, Argentina? That's Fac with a smiley face. Shout out to you. Colby, yo, what shrimp should I start out with in a 2.5 gallon to 3 gallon tank, and how many? I really love orange and yellow, but I don't know. They are easy to begin with. Let me know. So, let me start with this. I would never recommend anyone to have a shrimp tank that is less than 10 gallons. And the reason why is because I know my schedule and I know how I am. And I have such a hard time topping off tanks. Like, the maintenance on a tank it's tough. Like, especially with a small tank. So you have this tiny tank, right? The evaporation is like so much more than a big tank. And so like evaporation makes a huge impact on the shrimp. So if you're not constantly topping that off, that 3 gallon with the shrimp, the parameters are going to be changing so much because it's such a small volume of water that it's going to create a hard time for you to keep the shrimp alive. With that being said, it can be done. Like if you're like one of those people that you top off your tank every day, you check on your shrimp, then a 2 to 3 gallon is perfectly fine. So moving on, you can keep anything in a 2 to 3 gallon, or you can keep any type of shrimp in any tank. It just depends on how you want to set it up. If you want to keep like just a basic setup and not really have to worry about the shrimp, I would always stick to Neocaridina genus, and just because they're a little bit hardier. Tiger shrimp are always hardy. And so just stick to something like that. So the yellows and oranges, both of them would work because they're both Neocaridina. And I always suggest, like, go talk to the person that you're buying them from. Like, find a person that you want to get yellow or oranges from and say, hey, how do you keep your yellow and oranges? And hopefully they'll tell you. And then you can set up your tank exactly like that. And then when you get them in, almost always you're going to have success because you mimicked what that breeder is doing. So that's the key. That's what I think is the key. So hopefully that answered your question. Why did that happen to the Royal Blues? So like I said, I was saying a little bit ago, I had a colony of Royal Blues, and it was like my main colony, and I put so much time and effort into it. Luckily, I did take some babies out of it, and I do have those babies. And so my Royal Blue tank, I moved them. So I moved them from point A to a new tank that was brand new setup. It was a matin filter, like what I wanted to do. And just the transition, they were older shrimp. They were about 2 years old on average. Just the older shrimp just started dying off. Luckily, they bred, and I have like probably 40 or 50 babies in that tank that survived. And there's still like 10 adults, but I went from like 70 adults to 10 adults. It hurts. It really does. So that's why the Royal Blues had that happen. Nick, haha, nerdy fish guy. Me too. I'm moving stuff around to fit in another tank. Nice to take a break and watch a live stream. That's what I'm learning. That's what live streams are all about. Like, you can put them on in the background and you can go work on your tank or whatever. And if you hear something good, you're like, ooh, I need to go check that out. Like, what did he just say? And so that's what I love live streams for, because like, and I've never got into them, and just because I always thought that I was so busy. But really, I could just have it on in my pocket. If it's something good, I just pull it out, drop a few comments, and it's a good time. So I really love live streams right now, just because I've been a part of 2 now, and this would be the 3rd one, and I've had such a blast just being a part of them. So that was awesome. The nerdy fish. So I need more mods, and I do, and this is just off my phone, so it's nothing crazy. Jimmy is actually going to get me set up on my computer with the actual mods that he uses, and I think his live stream is like on point. Like, he has the coolest mods. Like, he has a little video going right here, a little live stream thing up here, another video down here, and then I forget what goes across the bottom, but it's something. It's like sashimi whiskey, and I'm like, man, that looks great. So it's really cool. I should have brought up another bottle of water. My throat's gonna be killing me. But yeah, so Argentina again. Shrimp lives matter. I agree. Frank, you're the man. What was your favorite topic or conversation you talked about? I answered that. Did you get up to any shenanigans, pranks? No, so we didn't play any shenanigans or pranks on anyone. Just because we were all so tired. Like, we got to the point where we're like cracking jokes. Like, Jimmy's over in the corner sleeping like this. And I'm like, Jimmy. And then I started like talking about him to see if he's up. And he's like, hey. So that's like just having fun, like, you know, all guys do. And so no, we didn't really play any pranks on each other. It was just like, it was one of those just genuine, like, get to know each other and have a great time kind of weekends. And so I really do that. Let's see. Did you end up getting tacos? So we ended up going to a Mexican restaurant, three of us, because Lucas Bretz wasn't there yet. Actually, we went to 2 Mexican restaurants. That's funny. I didn't even think of it. But at none of them, we didn't get any tacos, unfortunately. I kept being like, come on, Corey, you going to get a taco? And he's like, no. And he, it was fun, though. Like, I actually told him, like, I'm eating tacos. Like, it was a soft taco. He's like, that doesn't qualify as a taco. Like, tacos are hard shells. And he said he's had this huge debate on it, and I'm like, that's funny. So we don't have to go there. Do you guys plan to come to Europe? So I've been talking with Chris Luca. He's the shrimp king. He's from Germany. And me and my wife Amanda are actually Teresa. We're all planning on going down there and spending the weekend with them, and going around seeing some shrimp breeders, like getting to know Europe. And so that would be like a dream come true. Like, it would be so cool to be able to take the videos of all the shrimp breeders across the world and put up their fish room online and like pick out their, you know, just the little tips that they give, and kind of combine all that together. So that's like a dream of mine, and I think it would be so cool to do that. And so we'll just see what happens. Let me see. What was the most surprising thing you learned about the guys this weekend? Honestly, you know what the most surprising thing about this weekend was? Is how open everyone was. And that's truly being honest. Like, it's so hard to find people that are just open. Like they're willing to give you information that other people would make you pay a ton of money for. And so, like, an example was like we got on my website and I shared my sales with them, and they got on their website and shared their sales with me, and so on and so forth, and we just worked back and forth, and like, what's working for you and what's working for me, and kind of just brought the minds together. And to just have people that are so open with you and so trusting is like, it's something you don't find very often, because I'm a very genuine person. Like, trust is a huge thing to me. And so to find people that are like that is, I mean, you can't compare it to anything else. So that was the most surprising thing, just because you never expect people to be that open with you, and it's really cool. It smells in feet. That was funny. I have a question on leaf litter. This was from Christopher. I have a question on leaf litter. Is there a leaf that works better than others, like oak, maple, and then what is the prep before using it? So I always use Indian almond leaves, and the reason I use them is just because they're cheap. They're bulletproof. Like, I've used them for 4 years, and I've gotten really good results for them. They're also called catappa leaves. And so that's just what I've always used. So is there a leaf that's better or worse? I don't really know. The thing that I do know is that catappa leaves are proven to have cancer-fighting properties, and so they use them in antibiotics and different things like that. And so when people say that catappa leaves or Indian almond leaves have antioxidants, like, I mean, they're not lying. Like, that's actually true. And so that's one thing to know. Maple leaves are cheap, you know, you can pull them out of your backyard. And so so it's just what works for you. Like if you take some maple leaves and throw them in your tank, and it works, and your shrimp are breeding and they're eating the biofilm that grows off of them, then you're doing everything right because it's working for you. And like we talked about so many things. Like they sell mineral stones in the United States that come from Japan. And the only reason the Japanese, this is my guess, the only reason they started using these mineral stones is because they were in their backyard. And so it's only safe to say that we should try to use things that are in our backyard for our tanks and just see what works, because you're not going to know what the next best thing is. Like you can go out and find this rock in your backyard that we have everywhere, and you put in your tank and you see that your shrimp are always on it and it's great. And that could be the next thing. And everyone's trying to import it from the United States to get this certain kind of rock. So that's how it works, and it's crazy that it works this way. And so the prep time, I actually got this from Mark's Shrimp Tanks. He was the one that like brought it to my eyes, so I give him credit for this. Is you can actually soak the leaf in, I think it's white vinegar, just diluted big time with water, and let the leaf soak. Oh, you got to run. Who's that? Brian. Oh, Brian, I just saw that you were here. Brian was at the live stream. But Brian, we'll see you soon. Thanks, man, for stopping in. But yeah, so the prep for the leaves, just if you're worried about them, if you're getting them out of your backyard, throw them in a cup of water, put some white vinegar in there, or look this up. Don't quote me on this, but this is what I believe it is. White vinegar, put it in there with like a ton of water, like dilute it like, I don't know, 1/100th of what you have in water should be the apple cider or the vinegar, and that makes it safe, more or less. And so so that's that. Let's move on. Did you guys have a sleepover after the stream? Yeah, of course we had a sleepover. Like we were joking about getting onesies and everyone's logo on it, and we would switch, and like I'd wear like Corey's logo, and Lucas Bretz would wear mine, and Jimmy would wear, I don't know, Lucas's, and so on and so forth. And so it was just a fun time. So all the guys stayed here at my house. My wife was like pulling her hair out. Not really, she loved it. And it was just like a good time. She actually, believe it or not, the whole live stream, my wife's like sitting behind the screen like just cracking up. And so she enjoyed being with everyone. Get in touch with Joey, the king of DIY. Will be awesome if you could come up with a shrimp special tank. Yeah, so I have been meaning to contact Joey for a long time just to talk shrimp with him. Joey's a good guy. I've met him numerous times at the Chicago Aquatic Experience, and it was just like he's the same way. So like I really enjoyed meeting Joey, and he's just a normal guy. Like, you know, let's have a beer and just like hang out. Like, you know, it's not like, I don't know. It's like some people you meet them and they're completely different, and that's not one of them. So I would love to do something with Joey eventually. It would be cool to meet you guys on a shrimp conversation in Germany and do a video about it. Oh, so Reality Bites, he or she is talking about when I was referring to I might go to Germany with Chris Lukup and like see some of the breeders. So that would be a lot of fun to kind of like do a meetup in Germany and all these other places. Even if there's only like 5 people that come, like who cares? Like it would just be fun to just meet a few of you. Like let me tell you this story. This is so cool. So I had a buddy. Actually, it was a YouTuber. So there's this guy that lives in Ireland, and it's been so long that I forget his name, and I apologize for that. But it's this guy that lives in Ireland, and his girlfriend his fiance lives in Pittsburgh, which is like an hour away from me. And she emails me, and she's like, "Hey, my fiance's coming to visit from Ireland, and I would love it if he could come see your shrimp warehouse because he is a huge fan of yours." And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this guy is coming from Ireland. Like, you can come to my warehouse whenever you want. So they set it up, and he comes down, and he is so excited to meet me. And we spend like 3 hours just hanging out and talking shrimp. He actually brought me a gift. He brought me, I forget what it was, but it was a type of shrimp food. And I still use it to this day, so it's super awesome. And so I was loving it. And hopefully he watches this and comments and like, hey, that was me. Because I would love to have him back. But anyway, he was in Ireland, and he's just like, listen, like, all my buddies from Ireland, like, because Ireland's pretty small. It's like the size of, like, a United States state, or maybe a couple states, like Pennsylvania or something. And he's like, all my buddies watch your YouTube channel. Like, there's, like, 10 of us. Like, we always get together and talk about it. And we watch Corey's YouTube channel and Rachel O'Leary's YouTube channel. And I'm like, dude, that is so cool that in all these different countries, like, people are coming together and watching these videos. Like, It blows my mind. Like right now, there's people from Germany watching, Argentina. Like that is the coolest place. If you're from out of the United States, please comment because I want to know about it. Yeah, it was bee pollen. Yeah, thank you. That is exactly what it was. And so it was so fun. No, it wasn't Mark's shrimp tanks. I think Mark lives in the Netherlands. I'm not 100% sure though. Here we go, Portugal. See, this is like we're bringing the world together right now, and it's so cool. So let me see if I can answer some more questions. Tips on breeding Taiwan bees. I'll be honest. I'm not the best at breeding Taiwan bees. I'm still getting my grasp. I'm still getting it together because I had one 40-gallon of Taiwan bees when I first started, and I bred like shadow pandas. Yeah, shadow pandas, and like it was when they were like super expensive. Norway, that's what it is. Mark's shrimp tank is in Norway, and anyway, so. I was breeding Taiwan bees, and like I was like, man, if I can breed these Taiwan bees, I can breed anything. And then I got away from Taiwan bees because when I first started Flip Aquatics, I was like, no one's gonna want Taiwan bees. Like I need to focus the people that have never been in the shrimp hobby before. So I'm gonna breed like cherries and like hard to keep shrimp. And so Taiwan bees kind of fell off my radar. And now that I'm married to a shrimp nerd like me, we actually have a Taiwan bee that's my wife's tank. And we got him to breed a couple times, and not nowhere like I should be breeding them, but we're getting there. So stay tuned. I'm getting into Taiwan bees more, especially now that I got my import license. So I'm gonna import a bunch of Taiwan bees in and just see how to breed them and kind of work with them, and just go from there. So that's my little advice on that, which really wasn't even advice. Will bristlenose plecos bother shrimp? So most cases, almost 100, like 99% of the time, bristlenose will never touch a cherry shrimp or a shrimp. But on the rare occasion, you will have this hungry pleco bristlenose that just goes rogue and just starts gobbling up all the shrimp. Once they get a taste for shrimp, it's over. It's done. And so that's what happens with that. And I just saw your comment on crystal red, so we'll get to that in a bit. I'm gonna keep working down the list and seeing the questions. I'm getting way behind. But shrimp nurseries, will bristlenose. When will your shrimp on your website be back in stock? I want to buy some shrimp. Well, thank you for wanting to buy some shrimp, Dylan. I really do appreciate that. What happened was I sold, so with any business, you have to keep your doors open. So I was selling shrimp, and that's all I was selling. So I had to keep my doors open. So I was selling shrimp that I shouldn't have been selling, as in I was selling my breeders opposed to babies. And so eventually it got to the point where I sold myself completely out of all my shrimp. And so that's why I have more hard goods now, because I had to diversify. I need to sell more hard goods now to keep the doors open while I reproduce the shrimp. And so that's why this import order is going to be so important to me, because that injects my business with tons more shrimp that I can breed and work with and get new genetics. And it can only help me, hopefully, as long as all the shrimp don't die. And so that's, when will they be back in stock? I would say they'll be back in stock in a month or two. Until then, I'm just going to try to skate by with hard goods and plants and different things like that. So that's a little insight. I really haven't shared that with YouTube before. So it's cool to do a live stream and actually share this kind of stuff with you guys. Just cleaned my Eheim. Oh, that's funny. Joey said, I just cleaned my Eheim 2217 filter and found 100 plus cherry shrimp in the bottom of it. Yeah. Cherry shrimp or any type of shrimp, they'll go wherever they can. So they'll get sucked up in the filter. And there's so much junk down there, so much biofilm and different things like that, that they could literally eat off there for forever. And it will be good. What's your country audience breakdown, LupDiesel, in terms of stats? That's a personal question, but I'll answer it anyway because I love you guys. So I think 50% of my views come from the United States, and then it kind of goes down from there. I know Ireland's up there, the UK's up there, Canada's up there, and I don't know what the other ones. Maybe Germany. I don't know. And so I'd have to look. But let me keep... Thank you for the beard compliment. I just saw that. We're getting spoiled this weekend with live streams. Yeah, how cool is that? That we're all just live streaming and having a good time. So It's been one of those weekends that like you'll never forget, and hopefully you guys will always have the content, the videos that we created this weekend, so you guys will always remember the fun that we had too. And I didn't do as much video because these guys drove forever to get down here, so I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm gonna hog the video, and so I kind of just took a little bit in the background. So you guys will see multiple different perspectives of this weekend, which will be a lot of fun. And yes, I do have shrimp. All right. Let's see. Was Lucas the one that got the rainbow fish Corey showed on his live stream from your place? What species were they? Lucas, I don't know if he got rainbow fish. Oh, what he probably did is we went to Eric Bodrock's and he bought some fish there. And Eric Bodrock has some like really rare shrimp or really rare fish. And so I'm not sure what they were, but I'm sure that's what you're talking about. If he showed them on the live stream, it was definitely that. Lucas he got some shrimp and different stuff like that for me, rabbit snails, and just little stuff like that. I finally finished my water change so I could join. Have you kept? Oh, I got kicked down to the bottom. All right, so let's catch up on comments. Do you have shrimp? Yeah. If you go to Germany, first look at rendoshrimp.de. Is that like a real big breeder? Or is that I'm guessing it's a website. Oh, let's see. But yeah, drop me a comment and I'll read that. I actually just watched the KG Tropicals live stream this morning. It was a great informative stream with some totally new, or you're totally new, for someone totally new to freshwater shrimp. And yeah, so the KG Tropical live stream was completely about just breeding freshwater shrimp. So if you guys have an opportunity, check that out. Highly recommend it. John had some great questions for me, and hopefully I gave some decent answers for someone just getting into the hobby. So that was a great time. Let's see some of the new questions. Rob, have you ever watched any of Bob's recorded live streams? Yeah, so Bob, I've jumped in on a few. I haven't really watched like completely from front to back, but from what I heard this weekend, Bob is hilarious. Like I got in on one, like it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was exhausted, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and Bob was still on, and he was actually playing a game so people could keep talking. And I was like, dude, that is so cool. So I sat there and watched him play a game for a little while, and he wasn't talking or anything, but it was just cool to just jump in on there. Have you ever tried saltwater shrimp before? So I actually have a wholesaler that's near me. His name's Jim, and I think his business is Eye Catching Coral, and he's a big wholesale distributor. And he's like, man, you should breed these saltwater shrimp for me, and I would buy every single one that you could ever produce. And at that point, I was like debating on it, but like my specialty is freshwater shrimp. I just love them. I love everything about them, the colors, everything. So I was like, man, like I don't really know much about saltwater, so I don't want to get into it. So I personally have never kept saltwater at all. I definitely want to at some point because saltwater is literally a blast. Like it's so pretty. So I can only imagine like how cool it would be to have a reef with a ton of shrimp in it in your living room. And so eventually I'll get there, but we'll see. What is the hardest plant to kill for a beginner? The hardest plant to kill for a beginner. So I would consider myself somewhat of a beginner when it comes to plants. Like I'm not quite like #1 beginner. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 3. So like I'm decent at growing plants, but like I don't know everything else. Oh yeah, I gotta get back to the crystal comment. But anyway, so the easiest plant to keep, especially if you have low light, I would say is Anubias. My new favorite is Subwassertang, and Mark Shrimp Tanks talks about it all the time. He does the Subwassertang ropes. So I use Subwassertang in almost all my tanks because I have low light, and this stuff lives off nothing. Like you could literally have no light at all, just like some random light throughout the room, like maybe a window like way over there that it gets a tiny bit of light, and Subwassertang grows like crazy. Like not crazy, it takes a little while to establish, but it grows really good. So I would say like an Anubias, maybe a Crip, your Vals, like Italian Vals or Jungle Val. Anything that's like a really beginner plant. I mean, Anubias is really hard to kill. Or Subwassertang. So try one of those two and just kind of see what happens. And I don't think I do have Anubias for sale on the website. So I don't know if you're in the United States and you're interested. You could check out flipaquatics.com and try it there. Oh, cool! Thank you. I've never got this super cash before they were telling me about it. So that's so cool. Thank you very much. Great talking with you two at the Aquatic Experience. Cool. That's really generous of you. And so let's see here. Well, Crystal Reds keeps kicking me to the bottom. Will Crystal Reds breed in a GH of 180, a KH of 8, and a pH of 7? So I'm guessing that's a KH of 18, KH of 18 and GH of 18 and KH of 8. So will Crystal Reds breed in that? I've always found that Crystal Reds will survive in that. So Crystal Reds can survive in decently hard water, but I've never successfully bred them in hard water. And it's something with like just the way they are, the way their eggs develop. So I always say if you can keep Crystal Reds slightly acidic, so like right below 7, like 6.8, 6.9, that's where they're going to breed. And that's where you're going to find your most success. So I always use Fluval Shrimp Stratum. It's one of the most cheapest, and that's why I first started using it. And now all my shrimp breed in it, and it does really, really well. And so that's what I always recommend, especially if you're going to get shrimp from me, to try that first. How do I get shrimp to live in my daughter's beta tank? Oh, Michael! What's going on, Michael? So Michael actually came to our live event. Michael, if you wanted to keep shrimp in there, what I would recommend is kind of like Lucas Bretz strategy, like have some big rocks in the bottom and maybe like a piece of driftwood. That's what I always recommend. And just give them tons of, like a decent amount of places to hide, especially if they feel threatened. And they'll only come out like if the beta's looking away. So they'll come out and like maybe eat, and the beta won't even bother it. Just make sure to keep the beta plenty fed. You don't want it going around being hungry. And so that's what I'd recommend. My grandfather and I go fishing and we catch shrimp as bait. Some of them look kind of cool, but they are all shades of brown with cool patterns. They come from muddy, murky rivers, and I live in the Caribbean. Killer Panda, that is actually really awesome. And by shrimp, you mean like the tiny ones, or do you mean like crayfish? Because if you're catching shrimp, like, you need to make a video of this and send it to me, and I will post it for you, just because I think that's really awesome. And I think it's so cool to see where shrimp come from in the wild, to kind of get to know, like, how can I reintroduce this or recreate this environment. So it's cool to see that they come from little streams, and it's murky water, like it's not super clean, and it's just really cool to get to know that stuff. Like some of Chris Luca, the Shrimp King, he does a lot of videos, or not a lot, but he does a decent amount of videos when he travels around, and he does videos of like tiger shrimp in the wild. And like that stuff to me is like so cool and priceless, because I mean, who doesn't want to see where the creatures that you have actually come from in the wild? Like, that's so cool. So it's great. I bought some dwarf hairgrass seeds on eBay last night. Hopefully I can get them to germinate and grow well. First of all, I want you guys to know that like I'm not the quickest at reading because I have dyslexia, so I see everything backwards. It's like I have to take my time, like. So that's why, you know, if I'm stumbling, I don't want you guys to be like, LupDiesel, he don't know how to read. But it's kind of true. Like, I do have a hard time reading just because I always see things backwards. Did Sashimi find a Tinder match in Ohio? Oh, that's so funny. Poor Jimmy. No, they were busting on him in the live stream because he was on his phone, like, reading the live stream. And they're like, man, did you on Tinder or what? No. Jimmy is an awesome guy. I hope he finds the greatest girl in the world. And it's good. So that's what I'd say about that. Rob, do you use CO2 on the flamingo crypts you have in your tanks? I do not. And I can't say that my flamingos grow the best, but they grow. And they don't always keep that pink color, probably because I'm not dosing the tanks. I literally just have them in like what would be like an Eco Complete or like a Fluval Shrimp Stratum, something that has a lot of nutrients in it, and it just grows out of there. And that's what I have. I don't even have bright lights on it. If you wanted to grow crypt flamingo and be the best at it, you should be dosing that tank. You should be running CO2 and really like pounding them with some iron and different stuff like that. And then they would grow really good. And again, I am not the plant expert. Like, you got tons of other people that know so much more about plants than me. I just am a hobbyist that keeps them in my tanks because I love them. And so I can't say for sure what the best thing to do. Do you like Corridors? Got some yesterday. I'm loving them so far. So entertaining in the tank. Nick said that. Nick, I actually do have some Corridors. I have some Paleotis longfin that I got from a club member. They're the cutest little things in the world. I got some albinos that are like huge. Like I saved them from an auction. They had like 8 in a bag, and it was like a tiny bag, and they were all like floating upside down. And so I bought them all and like rebagged them, and luckily, I'd say 90% of them lived. And so I have those ones. I have just your regular Cories. I have some rare Cories that I got from the club that just live in one of the tanks. And so I do have Cories, and I love them. Again, I only breed shrimp. So the other things like I just keep because, you know, it's cool, and why not? I have the space to just throw them in a tank, give them a home. Nobody else wanted them. You know, they can come stay at the warehouse. When will you be likely to ship to the UK? So the UK has so many great breeders that I never, like, I don't want to say never, but I don't envision myself shipping shrimp to the UK for some time. With that being said, I do have an import and export license. And so if someone's like, hey, I really want LupDiesel Flip Aquatic shrimp, then I could be like, okay, like, I can actually legally send you some now. So that's kind of the cool thing. Now, the shipping might be outrageous, but if you really wanted them, we can make it happen. Hey, what's going on, V-Stag? I wonder if Neocaridina and Caridinas could live together in a in-between water pH. So I keep crystal reds with some, I think they're snowballs. Yeah, crystal reds with snowballs. They just don't breed. I mean, they live, they do well, they'll live out their lives. They just won't breed for you. And so you can definitely do that if you're like right at like 7.2 or something like that. And I've done that before. I've kept tiger shrimp, like royal blues and black tigers, orange-eyed blue tigers. I've kept them with Neocaridina, like cherry shrimp and stuff like that. And I've done really well with it. The only thing is the tigers eventually outcompete the Neocaridina just because they're more aggressive eaters and they don't want to share their food. And so eventually one population is going to outcompete the other one. So excuse me, it's not an ideal situation, but it could work. Are you planning to do weekly live streams? We all hope so. So Dean, yeah, so that's actually the plan. I don't know what time I'm planning on doing it. I was really thinking, Corey was saying he always does his live streams at 5 o'clock Eastern time on Sundays, or yeah, I think that's what it is. Maybe it's 8 o'clock Eastern. I don't really remember. But I figured I could do one either after him or before him. And it'd be like a pre-game or like an after show. Just because Sundays are my best day, just for like my schedule. And it's always the day that I'm home, I'm relaxing. And so it's nothing for me to just jump on and talk to you guys for an hour and a half. Like right now, like almost an hour went by and like feels like it's been 10 minutes. Yeah, I do ship, real quick, I just saw this. I do ship to Canada. Shipping is usually a lot more expensive, like between $30 and $50, whereas normally I just charge $10 all the way around. And so if you can get together a large enough order, then definitely we can make it happen and we could send them over to any part of Canada for you. But yeah, I do plan on doing weekly live streams, and I plan on doing it just because for me it's a lot of fun. Like, and hopefully you guys are having fun. Like we got 104 people in here just hanging out, just shooting the breeze, like really not even accomplishing anything. We're supposed to talk about this weekend, but then all the other questions started coming in. For anyone that just tuned in, this weekend was a blast. Like it was one of those weekends that you're always going to remember that like truly changed the way that you do things. So like I learned so much this weekend that like the way that I do my YouTube channel, the way that I run my business is going to be completely different. And so I give huge props to everyone that came. Lucas, Bretz, Corey, Jimmy with Sashimi, Whiskey, and it was an awesome weekend. So if you guys have not checked out their channels, go check them out. I highly recommend them all. It's such a, like, everyone has their own unique personality, but everyone is so genuine and positive that it really makes for an awesome time. Let's see. If I miss any questions, just feel free to drop them again. I don't mind if you guys drop them 20 times. I mean, it would kind of blow up chat, which wouldn't be good. But if you need to get my attention, you can do it that way. How would I get the shrimp in safely when I have guppies in the tank? So with anything, First of all, let me start by I wouldn't recommend keeping guppies with shrimp. But with that being said, if you only have a guppy shrimp or a guppy tank and you want shrimp, it's possible. And so what I would do if I was going to keep guppies with shrimp and the guppies were already in the tank, I would turn the lights off, like stir up the tank, like move some decor around, like confuse the guppies, and then take the net with the shrimp and take it down to the bottom, like next to plants or decor, so the shrimp instantly crawl out and go there. And then once they're there, they feel safe and you don't really have to worry about it. If you dump them in the top, those guppies are going to eat them, especially with the lights on and they're just like hungry, like waiting. Don't introduce them at feeding time, because I've known people that are like, well, I'll feed my fish first and then I'll dump the shrimp in. And they feed the fish, and while the fish are eating, they dump the shrimp in and they're just like, oh, more food. And so I wouldn't do that. Hey, LupDiesel, do you ship to Canada? Yep, I think that's the one that I answered already. Are you going to have a booth at the Aquatic Experience this year? I'm heading there this year, hoping I can meet you, Corey, Lucas, and Jimmy in person when I'm there. So this is a really cool idea that Corey was talking to us about, is if we had a YouTube booth at the Aquatic Experience. And, excuse me, my website is flipaquatics.com for the person that just asked. But we were talking about having a booth at the Aquatic Experience for all YouTubers. And like Corey even went one step farther. I'm like, well, you know, I already have a booth. Me and Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks do a booth, and we both sell together. And he's like, well, why don't we just combine it all together? Why don't we get like a 4 booth that's back to back to back and have YouTube on one side, you know, us selling on the other side, and we can go back and forth and just make it a huge thing. And I don't know the answer right now, but we have a lot of cool ideas in the mix to be able to have a booth at the Aquatic Experience that everyone can come to. And you guys know, you can stop by and you'll know that, hey, Corey from Aquarium Co-op is going to be here in 1 hour, or Jimmy's going to be here tomorrow morning, or so on and so forth. And so that's really cool. I hope that works out. Do the weekly streams. Oh, so do the weekly streams before Corey. So do you guys like that? Like a little pregame, like, hey, let's hang out for an hour and then we'll all go over to Corey's channel and watch his live stream. Because that's what I was thinking, and if you guys like that and that's what works, then that's what I'll do for sure. What's going on, CJ? Guys, hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Fish Life. Always out there representing. Awesome, man. We're looking forward to the weekly live streams. Smash the like button, guys. What do you use to edit your videos? So I just got into editing videos. I don't know where the box is. Let me check my computer. I use Cyberlink Pro or Cyberlink Power Direct, and for me it works really well. I'm definitely not good with editing, and I'm learning. And this software is easy enough that I got in day one, and was able to make a video. So, Cyberlink Direct is what I use. It's just good. Hey, Odonto Lover, subscribe to my channel. Yeah. Hey, everybody, go check out his channel real quick. I mean, hey, why not, right? Let's see what else we got here. You ever going to get a beta? Yeah, so actually Lucas Bretz just brought me a bunch. He's like, hey, man, like I have a ton of betas. I don't have time to work with them. He's like, do you want them? And I was like, you know, I don't really have time to work with them either. But if you don't want them or you don't have the room for them, like I will gladly give them a place to live. So I actually have, what is it, 7? No, it's probably more than that. It's probably like 10 betas or betas at the warehouse right now that I need to put into a tank and get them healthy and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I plan on doing. So I do have a friend that his name's Rob also. We call him Robbie. He's got like so many betas. Like I'll have to do a video. Like you walk into his house and there's beta bulls everywhere. Like everywhere. Like literally hundreds of betas. So I'll have to get over there and check it out. I never really thought about it. Rob, I'm ordering some fish and shrimp online soon. I'm honestly a bit nervous. Any tips? Flynn's Fish Room or Fish Farm. Yeah, so my tip when ordering stuff online, first of all, you want to make sure that they have a DOA policy. And DOA stands for dead on arrival. And if someone has that, that means they are confident in shipping fish, shrimp, or whatever it is. So when you order stuff, if they have that DOA, that means they're confident enough, so you should be confident enough. So like for me, when I ship shrimp, like I know that they're gonna get to you safe. So people will be like, hey man, like I never order shrimp online. You know, I'm just making sure like what do you do? And it's like most sellers like really take the time and care to package them and make sure they're safe. So make sure you know who you're ordering from. Like, you know, do your research, check them out, ask other people about them, and find the person that suits you best. And if they have a DOA, I'm sure that they know what they're doing. And anybody that has a DOA, like, hey, I only guaranteed if you get like this most expensive shipping that's $100. Like, don't do that. Like, I think mine's $10, and I guarantee no matter what. Like, and if USPS messes up and it gets there 4 days late, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. I'll cover it. Like, it's not your fault, it's their fault, so we'll make it right. So a good seller is always going to cover you, and they're always going to ship it right. So I wouldn't be worried about it at all. Don't stress out. You're the reason I got into shrimp. I seen one of your videos and I was hooked. The real Brian, dude, thank you. Like, you have no idea how good it makes me feel, like, inside, that people are like, hey, I got into shrimp because of you, because that is why I do what I do. Like, I want to grow this hobby so much. And so that's why, like, me, Lucas, and hopefully Mark Shrimp Tanks all get together and do a video, because it's only going to help the shrimp industry go. Or shrimp hobby. I always do that. And so, yeah, I love it that people get into shrimp because they see a video or just something comes by and they're suggested things on YouTube. So that is really, really cool. Which shrimp will do best in 0 kH and a pH of 6 and a GH of 3? So you're good. Crystals would do okay. Some crystals would do better than others, just depending on where you get them from. You'd actually probably do best with Taiwan bees, in my opinion. And right now you can get like a blue bolt for like $6 or $7, but it's usually imported, so know that. But yeah, you can get Taiwan bees, and they're some of the most beautiful shrimp. So that's what I would do if that's the water you want to work with. Where are you located? Like, which city? So I actually live near Youngstown, Ohio. And I don't have a retail store, so you can't just come in and hang out. But you can send me an email and be like, hey, man, I want to come up and get a tour. Like, I would gladly do that. Like, I invite that. You just have to work around my schedule a little bit, but almost always we can make that work. Any tips to get pintos to breed? So again, I'm not the best with Taiwan bees. But what I do suggest for breeding any shrimp is consistency. Whatever you're doing, be consistent about it. If you're consistent for a long time and they're still not breeding, then maybe start messing with your water chemistry or different things like that. And always do your research. So like, check your water parameters, see what you're doing. You know, use the right substrate, feed the right foods. You know, spend the extra money if you really want to get into breeding the right stuff. How are the Royal Blues doing? So, Dan, we actually talked about this early in the stream. My main colony of Royal Blues, like, all passed away. Like, out of 70, I think I got 10 left. And I really think it was because of age, because they were all, like, in the 2-year range. And, yeah, that one hurt. Like, every day I was coming in, and my wife or me were finding 1 or 2 dead a day. And, like, I did everything to try to stop it. And sometimes you just gotta let nature run its course. And of that, you know, 10 are left or so. But luckily, there's like 50 babies, so we're still good. And I got like, I don't know, 12 tanks of Royal Blue / Black Tigers going. And so I'm still working with them. It's gonna take a lot more work now that I lost my best colony, but we can always bounce back. Whatever time you do it, I'm gonna tune in to no matter what. Before or after, all good. That's cool. So like, yeah, so like I was saying, I'm really thinking about live streaming either before Corey's on Sunday or after Corey's on Sunday. And it'd be like a place, like, as soon as he's done, like, we could all go over there and hang out and talk some shrimp, or before we can pregame. I do want to talk to Corey and see if that's okay with him, because I don't want to, you know, barge in on him. But hopefully he doesn't mind, and, you know, I'd gladly do another day. But Sunday is just a perfect day for me, and so that's why. And yeah, so hopefully it works out. It's cool because you all have your own style, and especially as you are all bringing different and fun to watch things. Hoping you'll keep up the live streams. It's a cool format. Yeah, Nick, I really agree. There's so many different YouTubers, and we all do have such different styles and strategies. We're all different people, so you might not enjoy watching me, but you might love watching Lucas or might love watching Corey. So it depends on your personal taste and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, you just watch whoever, and we all support each other. I mean, what's better than that? And sorry, I missed a few because my scroller doesn't stay, and it just goes down to the bottom. Do fire red neocardinas breathe like regular cherry shrimp? So let me tell you this. So Corey, we had this revelation too. He didn't know this, but cherry shrimp are cherry shrimp. Almost all red neocardinas are cherry shrimp besides Bloody Marys. Now where you get cherry shrimp, sakuras, fire reds, painted fire reds, that's just grading. It's like you could have a cherry shrimp colony and it could breed a super fire red shrimp. Not a super fire red, but like a painted fire red or so on and so forth. So fire red, painted fire red, all those kind of things are just like, they're just a way to grade cherry shrimp. So know that. So I don't even remember your original question. Do fire red shrimp breed like normal regular cherries? And that's yes. Now they'll breed regular cherries too, so know that. So you can't get painted fire reds and then they'll have cherry shrimp babies like all the time. But yeah, they breed just the same. What are all the variations on blue neocardina shrimp? Oh, that is a loaded question. So blue neocardina shrimp is the most confusing part of the shrimp industry right now. The shrimp hobby, sorry. So blue neocardinas include like your blue velvets, you know, your blue carbon rillies, your blue pearls, blue, like there's so many different blues. So this is what I found. There's blue velvets, there's blue pearls, which are completely different, and then there's blue dreams. Blue dreams can be derived from two different methods. So one, you can mix a blue velvet with a carbon rilly, and that creates somewhat of a blue dream. That's how some people have created it. The other way is you can breed blue dreams from chocolate shrimp after calling, and you get like this crazy variation. And so there's so much that goes into that. I'll have to make a video on it to inform you guys, but blue shrimp neocardina is super confusing, especially because everyone comes up with their own name for their blue shrimp. Like, these are fantasy blues, and these ones are sapphire blues. It's like, man, just like, is this a blue dream, and what grade of blue dream is it? Is it a blue velvet? What grade of blue velvet is it? And that's all you need to know. So people make it really confusing. Where should I pick up some Sabwasser tang? So Ron, it depends on where you live. So like, I'm in the United States. I sell Sabwasser tang. It's kind of an expensive plant because it's so slow growing. I think it's like, I don't know. You just have to check out the website. It's my website's flipaquatics.com. You can get some there. I'm sure there's other sellers that offer it. I know Mark Shrimp Tanks. He did a thing on it. He's selling it. So if you're over in Europe or Norway or anywhere over there, you get it from him because it's closer. And so so you can get it anywhere. Sabwasser tang is a great plant to have. I love it for the shrimp. Highly recommend it. So it's cool that you're planning on getting it. Rob, if a fish/shrimp conversation comes up in Toronto, you able to head up here? Yeah. So like convention. Sorry, I said conversation. If there's ever anything in Canada, I have a passport. I would absolutely love to come up and like experience Canada, and like if somebody was like, hey, I'll put you up in my house, like that would be awesome. And so so yeah, so I really hope that that one day I'm able to do that. You and Mark Shrimp Tanks got me hooked on these shrimp. I used to think ghost shrimp were cool, but once I started watching your guys' videos, man, I need a job for some money. Yeah, isn't that the truth? So yeah, so shout out to Mark again, and Lucas Bretz. I don't want to leave Lucas Bretz out because he breeds a lot of shrimp too. It's cool that there's more shrimp YouTube channels now. Before there was like, I mean, it was only me and like there was another one, Fancy Shrimp, that did it for a little while, and he kind of fell off. DET Aquariums did it for a little while, and he took a long break because he had some kids and other stuff going on. Brian's Fish Tanks has some shrimp stuff. And so yeah, so it's cool that it's catching more eyes of people on YouTube and the rest of the world, really. In America, I know the United States, it's growing like crazy. Like, there are so many more shrimp hobbyists out there than there ever was. And so it makes me happy that, hey, I'm doing a good enough job that it's growing. Other people are doing a good enough job, and more people are finding it. Oh, and Christine Ha, yes. So, I actually have a collaboration with Christine Ha that I've done, and I feel so bad. I haven't got it out there yet, and that's horrible on my part. And we're gonna do one on her channel. We haven't got around to doing it. And Christine Ha has a ton going on. She's getting married, and so we're both super busy. But that will be a fun one. You guys need to stay tuned for that. Like, I'm really excited. Christine Ha is great. I mean, we're all great. I have nothing bad to say about any of the shrimp channels out there because everyone's helping and they all have good opinions. Like, if somebody was out there like telling you to buy these 6 shrimp, then I'd be like, ooh, yeah, I wouldn't go there. But as far as I know, there's none of that, so that's really cool. How big of an order will it take for you to ship to Canada? Well, Josh, I would ship you a $2 order just because I know that you might not be able to get shrimp in Canada, but the shipping's going to be outrageous. So for you, like, to spend $30 or $40 on shipping, you would want to get as big of an order to make that shipping worth it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I would recommend. Because I don't want to cheat you. Like, I don't want to send you 10 cherry shrimp and charge you $40 for shipping. Like, that's not very cool. But hey, like, if that's what you want, like, I'll hook you up. And you order 10, I'll send you 20. Just because I know you're getting screwed on shipping. And so, yeah, so just let me know. They may be personal, but... Oh, let's see. This may be personal, but is shrimp breeding / fish keeping your main job? Yeah, Andrew Lee, that's a great question. So I actually have I don't want to call it a full-time job, but I work as an electrician. I actually have an accounting degree and a business degree, and I started working for that for a year, and it didn't work out. Something happened with that doctor, and that's a whole nother story. You guys can check out my YouTube channel. It's the main video, my intro video about how all that happened. But I went and got my degree, and my parents own a electrical company, and they're like, well, hey, you've been working with us for so long, we'll pay you this amount, and you can do what you want. And I was like, I'm going to start working for my parents, I'm going to save up some money, and I'm going to start this shrimp business. So currently, right now, I still work like 20, 25 hours with my parents' electrical business, and then I do shrimp the rest of the time. My wife is the best because she's into this hobby, and so she helps me out a ton where I fall short and I have to go to work. She picks up the slack and like does the water changes and things like that. So I'm really blessed that my wife is into the hobby. And that's a whole nother thing. So my wife, we actually met through YouTube, which is the craziest thing. And so yeah, if anything comes out of this YouTube channel, the best thing is that I got a wife from it, and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So we'll get off of that, but yeah. Oh, there's my wife. She's actually in the chat. Thanks, babe. Oh, I love her. Yeah, so that's really cool. What type of food do you use, and how often do you feed your shrimp? So the Nerdy Fish asked that. I feed my shrimp right now currently MK Breed food and Shrimp King food. I just started feeding Shrimp King, so I don't have a full-blown opinion on it yet. So far, I love it because of how it's created, how it falls apart, how the shrimp take it away. Like, I love the food, but I'm not completely sold on it yet because I haven't used it long enough. MK Breed food, I've been using it for a long time. I'm sold on it because it's worked, and I'm just trying to diversify myself. And so, hey, Jim's here, Sashimi. That's my dude. We're going to play some Counter-Strike Go. I should have told him about you, but I'm a gaming nerd too. It's my relaxed time. Like, at night, like, I'm super stressed out, I'll come play one video game, and it's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Yeah, that's a little. Don't be repeating that to people. Hopefully, people don't watch this far into the live stream. Yeah, so that's that. So I do feed MK Breed food and Shrimp King food currently, and those are what I do. Have you ever dosed Excel for plant growth in any of your tanks? So, yes, and I've done it with shrimp, and I've had no ill effects. As long as you don't go crazy with it. I mean, that's the main thing. You don't want to go absolutely absurd and be dosing tons of amount. Just a little dab in there, nothing crazy, and you'll be good to go. KH and GH still can't figure that out, man. What is it, love? I'm a total noob from Scotland. A shout out to Scotland. Man, that is so cool. Jamal, So Jamal, KH and GH. GH is general hardness. It's basically like how hard is your water, and it has to be some type of hardness to keep shrimp. So GH just determines how hard the water is. Like a super high GH is like liquid rock, and you don't want that. So GH you want like 6 to 8. KH is carbonate hardness, and that's what dictates your pH. And so the higher your KH, the more stable your pH is, so you don't see fluctuations in it. And the more KH you have, the less likely you are to have a pH of less than 7. So like a KH of 2 is going to really try to stabilize your pH to a, right at 6.8 or whatever it is. So hopefully that answered your question. You're not a total noob, man. We've all been there. Like I remember asking myself, like people were like, go to your LFS. I'm like, what's an LFS, guys? Like I had to Google it and it couldn't come up, and I found out it's your local fish store. So like, joke's on this guy. Sashimi is the man. I agree completely. Thanks a lot for responding. You're a really cool dude. You got my sub, and when I buy shrimp, I'll support you. Andrew Lou, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. It's really cool, man. I appreciate watching that. My wife's here. She said, I love you. Watching from Flip Aquatics. Yeah, she's over there doing water changes. Like, what a great wife, She's over there resetting tanks. And we just had Corey and Jim and Lucas Bretz in town. And so once everyone left, I'm like, oh, babe, let's just take a nap and chill for the rest of the day. And she's like, no, like, let's go do water changes. And I'm like, I really don't want to right now. But, so she's over there and I'm over here, so it all worked out. So we're both working in different ways, I guess. You're really blessed to have a wife who helps. I agree 100%. Sometimes I take it for granted, but I really am super lucky about it. Do you know why Corey's stream did not start yet? The Fish Life. So Corey is actually on an airplane right now, and he canceled his live stream for this week, and he said it in last week's video. Just because he's going to be on an airplane. So we did one last night, kind of, and that was in place of tonight. And so that's why I didn't start. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sure he's bummed about it too. But, sometimes life just happens and you're not able to live stream. And you can't just make a live stream and then upload it later. Like, it has to be live, so you have to be there. Sashimi is the man. He is the freaking man. What else we got here? This back thing is going to stick with me forever, isn't it? Thanks, Dean. Sashimi, yeah. Sashimi was like on the floor. I didn't get to see it with my own 2 eyes, but he was like back there on the floor, like his back hurt. I think he pinched a nerve or something. And he was down and out, but luckily he bounced back. He's got a quick recovery time. And he was charging and going the rest of the weekend. And he did a ton of videotaping. Or got a ton of footage. Alright, LupDiesel, can I borrow Panda Lee for water changes? I'm so burnt out from the weekend. No, you cannot take my water changer. She is no. Like maybe for like $100 an hour. Like I would consider it. No, I need her, and or else things won't get done on my end. What else we got? Hi Mike, have a good night. Tell Lily hi. Oh yeah. Yeah, Mike's in here. He brought his daughter Lily, and it was just a great time hanging out with them. Lucas gave him a betta, and I got to give him a fish tank. So it was like, hey, thanks for driving 2 hours. Like, I'm really cool that you brought your daughter, and like we really want her to get into the hobby. So here's another fish tank, and so it was cool to kind of help him out with that. And he sent us pictures that night of it set up, and that's how you know somebody's excited about something. Let's see what else we got. I bought 6 cherries from my LFS. And 2 are Pregers. Anything I should do? No, you're doing everything right. Like, if you got 2 Pregos, you're on point. And it's actually called buried. So, buried versus saddled, like all those things. A pregnant shrimp is a buried shrimp. And that means she's got all the little eggs down in her finlets and she's finning them around. Let's see what else we got. For the person wondering what... Okay, so explain that. My pH is rock stable. Marcus Rome, 1v1 me CSGO. Dude, you'd probably kick my butt. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm only Nova. I was Nova 4 and I got demoted because I didn't play. Either that because I stink. But, it's fun. As long as you have fun, that's all that matters. There's just too many hackers. All right, let's get back on point. Ordered 4 in vitro plants from you last week in a single PRR. Remember, they arrived Thursday and they're looking great. Yeah, I do remember that because you did 2 orders and you're like, you don't have to worry about shipping. Throw in a PRL. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for doing that, H-Man. How'd they arrive? Like, did they look great? Or are they doing good now a week in? Because I don't know. Like, I've only known from the ones that I've used myself. And so the more feedback, the better. Is there a notification I can turn on for your website for when you're back in stock? Probably not. And I'm so... I'm like illiterate when it comes to my website because the guy that created it, he isn't around anymore. So I can't ask him questions. And so, yeah. I just kind of try to figure it out, and I'm getting a new website. So in the future, in the next couple of months, in the next year, within the next year, we'll say that, I'll have a new website, and then I'll have a better answer for you. So all I'd say is keep checking back, and if you end up getting them somewhere else, I understand, and I'll make a YouTube video when I get shrimp back in stock. How about that? How to clear dragonfly nymph. So dragonfly nymph, those are the most vicious predators. It was actually on Animal Planet how vicious they are. And so, oh my gosh. Yeah, you do not want to get those in your aquarium. So I would just keep clearing them out. I don't know a way to just kill them instead of just breaking the tank down. And putting some fish in there to eat them or something. But they even eat fish. So they're brutal little things. Do you have a recommended subtitle for your, or substitute for your, or substrate? I think that's what he meant. Do you have a recommended substrate for your tangerine tigers? I recommend fluval shrimp stratum. That's what I use. It's fairly inexpensive. It's fairly inexpensive. It's I don't know, $20 a bag for a big bag or something like that. So fluval shrimp stratum for tangerine tigers is what I use, and that's what I have good results with. So that's what I recommend. So do that. Is it Neos that like hard water? Yeah, so Neocaridina and tiger species, besides tangerine tigers, enjoy harder water. Yeah, Corey's here. That's cool. So I can't talk to him, but he's chatting. So hey, if you guys are chatting to him, tell him I said hi. That's cool that he's here. But yeah, tangerine tigers. Definitely use fluval shrimp stratum because that's what I use, and they're breeding like crazy. Let's see. Oh yeah, so mods. The only reason I don't have mods right now is is because I don't know how to make them. So let me see. I'll figure it out for the live stream mods, and I'll get a few mods going in here. And hopefully we don't have any crazy spammers. I mean, if we do, it is what it is. And we'll have fun no matter what. Corey says that he fell out of the plane and is knocking your front door. Hey, I would let him back in. He can come stay the week. I don't care. Oh, that'd be fun. Let's see what else we got. Hey, Rob, how long does it take crushed coral to impact cage? So crushed coral, depending on how much you use, the effect is immediate. So Corey was saying he sprinkles some in his substrate because he has really soft water. He sprinkles some in the substrate, and it just slowly leaches into the tank. So I would say just put a tiny bit in the tank, maybe you have a 10-gallon tank. I might put a half a cup in there or less, and just sprinkle it down, and then keep testing your cage throughout the week and see if it's stabilizing or if it's rising. And I don't have a definitive answer because I haven't been there and done that, but that's where I would start if I was going to. So I set up a tank. It says Squeeter. That's a sweet name. Squeeter. That is actually a really cool name. So I set up a tank 2.5 weeks ago, and it's half done cycling, ammonium nitrate spikes. A couple days ago, saw 2 tiny snails on glass, wash plants, but must have been eggs. Should I take them out? No. So I've had snails that have survived the most ridiculous circumstances and like tank parameters. And so most likely those are pond snails or Malaysian trumpet snails. Those things are bulletproof. If you don't want more snails, I would take them out. But if you're worried about them dying or something like that, just leave them in. They'll do just fine. Trust me. Subscribe to my channel, where me and my friends do cosplay. Hey, if you're into cosplay, subscribe to that channel. That's fine. We'll have fish tank in front of a window. Will the summer heat in California be a big issue for keeping the temp stable and algae issues? I do have blinds. Yeah, so I'm not sure how hot it gets. I imagine in California it gets pretty toasty though. And so if you have air conditioning, like I really wouldn't worry about it. I have tanks in front of my windows, and I've never noticed a big impact. Any light coming through, even if you have blinds like these white blinds in the back, even black blinds. I mean, there's some light that gets through. White blinds, I would be concerned that more is going to get through, and you'll probably have algae and all that stuff. And then, yeah, I don't think it will be a big issue. Just cool your house, let the shrimp go. You don't have to use heaters, nothing, and it'll all work out. Hey, when are you announcing the winners for the tanks, the 28th? Dictator of God. So, I'm announcing them as soon as February ends. So, like, I'll probably do a live stream. Like if I'm going to do a live stream, like on Sunday at some point, I would probably announce it on a live stream, and I would turn the camera so that you can see the screen, and you would know, like, I randomly generated that number, and it's honest of me. Like, I'm not fooling you guys. And that's probably when I'll announce it. Probably, like, the 3rd or 4th. Actually, let me just check. February ends the 28th, and so I'll probably, that Sunday, so March 5th, I'll probably announce who won the 3 tanks, or which numbers won the 3 tanks. Wait. Alright, so here, I'm going to try to add a moderator real quick. 3 dots, manage moderators, and past. Okay, so I have to paste moderator's channel URL. So now I gotta look up. Here we go. We're gonna get this figured out. I apologize that you guys had to sit here and watch. Alright, so Corey should be a moderator now. Oh, why are you banning the cosplay dude? Did he do something wrong? Oh, can I do it from this chat? Let me see. Sashimi, this is where I needed you, man. You were supposed to help me with this. Oh, I got it now. I got it. Let me see. Put user in timeout. Add moderator. There we go. Okay, so I made Sashimi a moderator too, so he's got some power. Will you get all live stream schedules a row on Sunday? Okay, so yeah, so I don't know what's going to go on Sunday. I got to talk to Corey and kind of see what his opinions are, and go from there. And if he's fine with me live streaming on Sunday, I probably would. And then we'll kind of just map it out from there, and it'll all be good. I don't want to step on other people's toes, right? Oh, so Sashimi's a terrible mod. Oh no, I gotta kick him off. That's funny. I have everything ready except a tank. I'm wanting to see if I win. We'll see. Looks like we'll know on the 5th. Yeah, so plan on the 5th that we're gonna release who won the contest for the 3 Planet tanks, or Fluval Dental Shrimp King tanks, 10 gallons. I mean, these are sick tanks. They really are. I really love them. Ask my wife, because she loves them, because she gets to set them all up and put some shrimp in them. What I'm going to do, somebody had this, somebody had this idea, and I forget who it was, and I wish I could give them credit, but they said, you should set up a Shrimp King tank, use the general plants, and then do that. Oh yeah, I gotta make my wife a moderator. Let me find her real quick. As soon as my wife posts something in the chat, I'll make her a moderator. But until then, she's gonna be in timeout. Ban his wife. Man, you guys are ruthless. Oh man. Well, let's do this. Pop out chat. Alright, what do you think about Academia soil? So, if you're over in the UK and different places like that, you can get the real Academia soil, which is like perfect for Taiwan bees. A lot of breeders have used it. I've got a lot of good feedback on it. In the United States, you can't get it. I think it's a double red line Academia is the one that's good for Taiwan bees. But I've never used it because it's illegal in the United States. Hopefully one day it won't be. Do you think that KH and GH plus should work for a neon tetra and dwarf gourami tank? I'm sorry, this isn't a shrimp question. I'm a repeat customer and will continue to be. Oh, Ryan, what's going on, man? Yeah, Ryan. So the GH and KH will work for anything. You can remineralize any tank. I mean, it just doesn't matter at all. It's all the same stuff. The only difference is the salty shrimp stuff has extra things in it that make it, better for shrimp. But you could definitely remineralize for anything, plants, fish, whatever. It just adds minerals to the water. So yeah, it's a good question. Oh, there's my wife. Gotta make her a moderator. Yeah, I'll put her in timeout. I get home and she starts beating me. It wouldn't be good. Do your shrimp ever eat green beans? I have personally never tried green beans. I would love to, though. I mean, it'd be cool to just see if it works. I always want to try carrots and different things like that. I've done carrots before and it was like okay. I've done spinach and it was good. Different things like that, but I haven't got too crazy with it. Just because of my schedule. You pick where you put your time, and that isn't some place that I have been. Someone's gonna be sleeping on the couch tonight. Yep. Is it true that if you mix variations of Neocaridina, like cherries and royal blues, royal blues aren't Neocaridina, so know that, that they will hybridize with each other, can go back to the natural color? So, Dylan, the way that I look at it is if you mix like yellow, orange, like if you mix like orange and red, it's really not going to have an ill effect. If you mix the blues together, they're most likely just going to keep staying blue. But personally, me, I would never mix any of the Neos unless you're going to just have them in a display tank. Then it's perfect. I mean, why wouldn't you mix them if you're just having it for a display? And you don't care if they breed great, and you'll get some funky colors, but they're your shrimp, and who cares? Like, you're not trying to resell them. And so that's my opinion. Panda Lee shall forever be known as the wife. We'll just call her Mrs. Diesel. Let's see. Please give hints on how to find a wife on YouTube. Asking for a friend. Oh, that is so funny. So, if you guys didn't know this, I found my wife on YouTube, which sounds so funny. I was just making videos like I always do, and I get a Facebook message, and it's my wife. At the time, I didn't know her, and she sends me a message talking about royal blues, and like she heard I had them, blah blah blah, and I look and I'm just like, what? Like, this chick's hot. Like, I looked at her profile, but I was like, she can't be real. Just can't be. Like, no hot girl at 23 years old is into shrimp. So, click on her profile, check her out. She's legit. So we start talking back and forth. I'm professional. I'm genuine. I'm not, like, hitting on her or anything. And then, like, I just tell her, like, hey, if you ever need royal blues, let me know. The next thing that happens, 2 days later, she sends me a message on my personal Facebook page. Not the business Facebook page, my personal one. And I'm like, this creeper, like, how did she find my personal page? And she's like, man, I didn't know you were young. Like, there's not very many young people in the hobby. And, like, now I'm like, this girl's into me. And I got her hook, line, and sinker. And so from there on out, like, it just worked out. Like, God, like, I believe in God. God just, it all just came together and it worked out good. Now I got this awesome wife who I love. And, I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. Unless she did all the water changes, I never had to do them again. Then I might be slightly happier. Oh, I trimmed my plants and did a 10% water change this morning, but now my Neocardina are nowhere to be found. Did I actually kill them, or will they pop up later? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say they're probably just hiding. I mean, you trim the plants, so you change their environment. They're scared. They got a water change. And so I'd give them a little bit of time and see if they pop back up. My wife, the perfect love story, question mark. Oh, the shrimp life. Yeah. Rob, answer the non-English questions. Jeez, bud. Well, somebody translate them for me. Jeez. I'll answer anything. I want to go grab some soil and sand from a local pond and a few clippings and see what happens in a 20-gallon long. James, that is the story of my life. That is the aquarium dream. Just go out in your backyard, see what you can find, grab some things, and remake it in your fish tank. That's awesome. I've seen some of the most beautiful fish I've ever seen, and they were locally caught from streams. It was at Tony's Fish Room that I did a tour of. Like, absolutely beautiful. Blew my mind. Let's see. What did Corey say? I wish I had stolen cookies from Rana house for this plane. Yeah, Rana. No, he meant Rob. My wife, like, she loves cookies, so any excuse she has to make cookies, she will. So, like, we get home from the first day of, like, filming and doing videos, and we get back to my house, and there's, like, this tray of, like, 4 different types of cookies that she made. And yeah, so we just ate, and it was a good time. And so Corey realized that, like, one cookie didn't look so good, but he tried one, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty darn good. And so, yeah, so I could see why he would want some of those. How long can the culture plants stay in the cup? I have some plants, but they're a way off. They're a ways off. So what I've learned is in the month and a half that I've had these tissue culture plants, if you want to keep them for a long time, I've actually had some for like 6 months in a window. But some of them melted back, some of them died, not all of them made it. If you want to keep them for a really long time, I'm actually keeping them in my refrigerator right now, some of them, just to test them out. And they look green as can be, and they've been in there for like 3 weeks. And so there's a lot of different strategies. Try them in a window that's, in your basement. Maybe it's cool down there. Put them in your refrigerator if your wife won't kill you. My wife doesn't mind. And just kind of see what works. But yeah, they can last like 6 months in those things, maybe even longer. Your wife sounds like my wife. She likes to put the what? The beads? I'm not going there. I don't know what that means. But my wife's awesome. At Aquarium Co-op, you took one for the team this weekend, Corey. Many thanks. I don't know what that means, but he took a lot for the team. Driving or flying all the way down here, connecting us all, getting me to live stream. Like, that's awesome. Can fish stress shrimp out when they won't get buried? Yes. Having fish in a tank, if there isn't enough cover, there isn't enough plants, you can stress the shrimp out to the point where they will never breed for you. So that's why I always recommend a shrimp-only tank with snails. Dictator of God. Oh no, I missed James. Hey, you were wondering how Co-op would feel. He's in the chat. Well, he can't hear me in the chat, so I don't want to corner him in front of everyone. I'd much rather just talk to him on the phone and like, hey Corey, like, you fine if I do live streams before or after you, or is there a better day, and so on and so forth. So we'll just see what me and him come up with, and maybe Friday's the best day. Maybe when I get home from work on Friday, I don't know. Brian, because I don't share cookies. Corey, wait, there was cookies. Dictator of God, what are the odds that you reference a conversation between us when reading one of my comments? Whenever I bought you plants, I told you to set up an aquascape too, so our tanks could grow together. Oh, that was Dictator of God. Yeah, you're the one that sent me the email, and you're the one that's like, hey, you should set up the tank, grow out the dendromal plants, and we can kind of see how each scape comes together. So I give all Dictator of God all the credit for that one. That was a great idea, and I'm definitely going to do that. I kind of have one set up, but I don't really have dendro plants in it yet, so I'll have to get on that. Let's see what else we got. Alright, so I scroll back down to the bottom. Chris, in theory, my first bottle of Easy Green shipped internationally on Amazon today, so I'm trying. That's cool. International shipping. Tissue culture plants. Tissue culture plants, like, they're a little pricey. The minimum, and I wanted to sell them for less, the minimum that you're allowed to sell them for is $12.99. And I think that's exactly what I sell them for. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. My wife just said the Taiwan bee tank has them in it. But we don't have the actual... We don't have ones that we bought at the same time. Like everyone, I was thinking, when I set up a tank and put the dendro plants in it, it will be at the same point where everyone else is putting their dendro plants in it. And then we can compare growth and like see how it all comes together. But, yes, I am going to set up the tissue culture plant. Oh... That's what I was talking about. The tissue culture plants, the minimum that you're allowed to sell them for is $12.99. Yeah, I know. Over in the UK, they sell them for like six euros, which is like eight US dollars or something like that. And here, it's $13 minimum. Like you can't sell them for less than that. So I kind of got stuck. I was gonna sell them for $10 just to like really give you guys a good deal and all that kind of stuff. Charles said, "I heard, LupDiesel, I heard you once killed 2 stones with 1 bird. Can you confirm or deny?" If I was a bird and the walls were the stones, then yes. I've ran into many walls in my day. I used to play football. I actually used to play college football for a D3 school, so it was a smaller school. Because I'm like 5'9", and like no one wants to get a defensive lineman that's 5'9". But that's a whole different story. That was fun back in the day. That's actually how I got the nickname LupDiesel, is from playing college football. That's kind of cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. Aquarium Co-op just said, Panda Lee, which is my wife, I've got to introduce you to my wife. The live streamers wives club can be formed. Oh, that would be funny. All the live streamers wives can get together while we're live streaming and just talk and have a good time. So what we need to do, since we're all guys for the most part. I mean, there's like 20% females in here, which is awesome. My wife's one of them. We need to form like some way to connect all the wives together. Sashimi! Dude, that's so generous of you, man. Thank you very much. Sashimi just dropped $20 for the cookies that my wife made him. Oh, that's awesome. Sashimi, we're going to play some Counter-Strike Go tonight. Rob, I played lacrosse for a D1 school, a club team. Dude, Charles, that is awesome, man. So you'd probably wreck my life, dude. But no, we need to do something to get all of our wives into the hobby. So whatever it is, like, set up like a YouTube channel or something for them where all the wives can live stream together and talk about their crazy husbands or crazy boyfriends or fiancés that are all into this hobby, and they can come up with ways like, hey, like this is how we can get them to have less tanks or so on and so forth. Oh, that'd be funny. The wives can sit back and drink wine. Brian, you are honest. Brian, I thought you were leaving. Now you're back. Oh, that's funny. Sashimi needs a... Oh, Sashimi is the man. Like, we don't give Sashimi a hard time. He does have the power. He can get you out of here. He's a mod now. Let's see what some people said. Tissue culture plants give you much bigger portions than most aquaculture plants. That is so true. So, a tissue culture plant, I had this happen. I was buying like green crib Wenties for, I don't know, $3 or $4 online, getting them in. And granted, they were pretty big, and they would start propagating after like a year. I got the tissue culture plants, and it literally came with, no lie, 30 plants. And I spread them all around, and instantly after like 2 months, my whole tank was carpeted with crib. And it was like so cool. So I'll have to look back at that video. It was my old Carbon Really tank. Yeah, so it was awesome. Corey, that sounds great. Much love, Sashimi. Always can sit back and drink some wine. At LupDiesel. Johannes, I think that's how you say it. Or Jonas. I don't know. Oh, I bought some tissue culture plants from you. They are doing great. Did you ever announce tank winners? No, so the tank winners are actually getting drawn on March 5th is my estimate when they're going to be drawn. Well, actually just say that. Like, that's when I'll do it. I'll do it on March 5th. I'm going to do a live stream. And you guys can all see who wins the tanks in person. I'm not going to name drop their full name, but I'll say, like, Brian O. won the first tank, or so on and so forth, because I don't know. Some people don't want their names out there. But yeah, we're going to be drawing that soon, so it's going to be cool. I'm excited to message people and be like, dude, you won a 10-gallon Shrimp King tank. What's your address? I'm shipping it to you. And just see the excitement and everything that they have. So it's going to be cool. Man, we're pushing 2 hours. We'll have to close this down in 10 minutes. My throat is killing me, and no water. Oh, what else we got? At LupDiesel, love your videos and can't believe the energy you have to keep doing all you do. Appreciate learning much. Best to you and your wife. That's really kind of you. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, even though I don't always respond to all the comments, you have no idea how much it means for me. Like, when someone says, like, hey, LupDiesel, like, you're the reason I got into shrimp. Or, hey, LupDiesel, like, I love what you're doing. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Like, I appreciate it. Like, it means the world. Like, it really does. Like, I can get choked up and cry right now. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm so passionate about it. And it really means a lot when I can help you guys get into a hobby that I found so much enjoyment out of. And that you guys can eventually have the enjoyment too. Thought I saw a spider. Hey, Lup, start selling those cookies. They must be something good. Yeah, Andrew. I'm going to have Mrs. LupDiesel's cookies on the website tomorrow. It just go viral. I don't know. It would be funny. She's going to get a kick out of it. I can't wait to talk to her. Like, as soon as it's over, she's going to call me. And it's going to be funny to hear what she has to say about it. Let's see what else we got. Any discount codes for your site? Yeah, so... no, unfortunately not. I'm not that tech savvy yet, so I don't know how to do discount codes. I mean, there's a thing in there, like, all I'd have to do is go in there and, like, make one and see if it worked, and then go from there. But I haven't got there yet. So not yet. I just do, like, random specials, and then that's usually just the discount that I always give. Or if, I don't know, something like that. At Brian's, miss you were there. Yeah, Brian's opinions and comments. Opinion and comments. That is so funny because Brian's actually in my fish club and he's local to here. And he showed up to the meet and greet and I'm like, that looks just like Brian. And it was Brian. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he said his name and I'm just like, that is hilarious. Brian's a really good guy, so it's always fun to hang out with him and he already has to say. And so it's really cool. Yeah, let's get some more questions. We got 7 more minutes and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm sorry, guys. So it turns out I picked a seat 10 feet from the bathroom. Not my best decision, but tickets were last minute. Yeah, Aquarium Co-op's going to regret that one. Poor Corey. Yeah, I never like sitting by the bathroom. You always get those interesting smells. Sup, bro? Just checking. So happy you are doing so well with your new room and the channel is coming out great. Thinking about doing an aquaponics system for a college project up here in the Northeast. Andrew Money, where are you at in the Northeast, man? Because I'm like not super Northeast, but I'm in Ohio. So I'm in the most northern part of Ohio. So yeah, if you ever do it, I'd love to come check it out. But thanks for stopping in and just saying what's up. To breed cherry shrimp in a community tank, I bought a net breeder. Will this work? And I'll put some Java moss in it. What else should I do? So net breeder, yeah, it could work. Not saying it won't. It will just float around. The only thing is, you have to know this because I've had this happen. Fish will jump into it, and then you'll have them all get eaten. My favorite is, I'll show you guys. This might kill my signal. I don't know. This is what I use. Let's see. This is it's a Marina hang-on breeder box, and we actually are keeping the Super Princess beads in it. But that's what I found. Like, if you have a tank that's not set up for shrimp and you want to keep shrimp, like, just slap one of those on the side. And it's perfect. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read this comment. You said red up the other day on your video when you were working in the yard. Remind me of when I work in Sharon Funny. Thanks for all the info. So actually, I read your comment. I haven't had a chance to respond, but yeah. So I always say red up, like red up the house or red up the warehouse, or different things like that. And so yeah, I guess that's just around here. I never knew. Like I never even thought that was a phrase that everyone didn't use, but apparently it is. So it was cool to like, hey, I used to live in Sharon, and Sharon, PA is, I don't know, 20 minutes from here, so it's not far at all. Corey. Let's see. I know you recommended 20% water changes. As long as my TDS is between 180 and 200, do I ever need to remineralize? Sorry, I'm just a dumb musician. No, Ryan, you're not a dumb musician. So TDS, I really only use TDS to measure the water that I'm doing water changes with. So if I have a tank set up right here, I don't ever measure that TDS ever again. I mean, I do, but we'll make it simple and say I don't. When I add new water in, I only remineralize the new water and see like, oh, this is 180. Okay, this water is good to add to my aquarium. Boom, put it in. Because this TDS is constantly changing. In an aquarium, TDS could be at 180, and water can evaporate. It can go up to 200. You can add water back in and go back down to 180. They can poop. There could be things leaching in the water. A lot of things affects TDS, and I know Corey just did a video on this. And so I wouldn't use TDS as a measurement on a tank unless you're testing the tank to see what the GH and KH is, because TDS picks up everything. It stands for total dissolved solids, and so just know that. And I would still do at least 10% water change a month. So like whether it's 2% a week or 2.5% a week or 5% every 2 weeks, something like that, and just be consistent with it. I kind of want to call people tacos now. Quit being such a taco. That is funny. Do your shrimp have a favorite plant? Mine like Miro. Do you have any brine shrimp tanks? I'm trying to good plants for mine. Sawasra is my favorite plant for a shrimp tank. That's just what I've used, and I love it, and it creates great surface area, and just all these things. So I always say Sawasra is my favorite plant for a shrimp tank. And no, I do not have brine shrimp. I've never kept brine shrimp. I've hatched them out before, but I've never kept them, and so it'd be a cool thing. Oh, so this is a good thing. So why is there a $25 minimum order from your website? The reason that I did a minimum order, which I'm probably going to take it off now, is because before, like, it takes... Oh, thank you, Dictator of God. Oh, nice. Yeah, hey. Here, let me get you real quick. May add a moderator. Alright, so... what was I saying? I gotta scroll back up and find it. Oh, why do I have a $25 minimum order? When I first got started, like, I don't know if you guys were here when I said this, but I work another job. I work with my parents, doing electrical, and so I was really, really busy. And so for me, it's tough for me to justify, you know, going in and shipping 2 packages, and they're both $3. And it's like I'm spending so much time shipping them out that I couldn't. So I just set a $25 minimum order. That way, like when I went and shipped packages, it was worth taking time off work to do it. Now that we're getting, you know, a decent amount of orders, then it's like, hey, if we just do a fixed $10 shipping, which stinks because I hate charging someone $10 in shipping if they're only ordering, you know, $2 worth of stuff. Like that doesn't seem right. But now that we're getting more orders, we might redo that and just say like, hey, there's no minimum order. Like if you want to spend $5 and pay $10 in shipping, like that, hey, maybe that's you're in a place where you can't get these things, and that's what it's worth to you. So so we'll just see how it goes. Corey, your swag will be there. The first of this week. So Sergeant Tank, you give some swag bags, man. You gotta let me know. Are you planning to do another shrimp mist video? Dean, yes. I was actually gonna do it this weekend, but like we were so swamped and I didn't have the video ready and I didn't want to like bail on everyone and be like, hey, I'm gonna go spend 3 hours and make a video. So this coming Saturday, I'm actually gonna do the shrimp keeping mist part 2, and we're gonna talk about, do assassin snails eat shrimp? Do shrimp eat their own babies? Like these crazy things and all these different myths. It's gonna be one that you don't want to miss, at least in my opinion. Like I would be excited to hear someone's opinion on these controversial topics. And so anyway, guys, I'm sorry, I gotta wrap it up. Oh, I will do, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll show all my tanks real quick before I wrap it up. So this is the Aurora Blue tank. Oh, here, we'll just do it this way. This is the Aurora Blue Tiger tank. We got two really nice buried females in here. I don't think it will focus, but she's in there. Oh, sorry, boss man. So this is the Aurora Blue tank. It's just a 7 pH, some nice ones. These are the tanks we're giving away, and we're gonna be giving these away on the 5th. Up here's the Marina Hang On breeder box, the medium. These are super princess bees, or just princess bees, and they're a dwarf species of shrimp. Paracaridina. Really excited to have these back. Down here we have the Taiwan bees. This is my wife's tank. This is like her pride and joy. And these are actually all tissue culture plants that we got from Deneral. These ones have been growing since the aquatic experience, so they're definitely a lot bigger than most people's now. But yeah, she absolutely loves this tank. Here's some red moss. Then we got over here, these are my shrimp. These are the blue bee Paracaridina shrimp, and yeah, I love them. I don't know why they're acting crazy right now. Hopefully it's because they're getting ready to breed. They haven't bred for us yet, so it's only a matter of time. But yep, and then we got over here, we got the little tank that's a mess right now. All the shrimp crawled out to their death. We got a Pinto Anubias, and that's what we got over here. So those are my tanks at the house. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I'm sorry. I wish the stream was longer, but we hit 2 hours. My throat's dying. Thank you guys for stopping in. Again, great weekend. Check out Aquarium Co-op, Sashimi Whiskey, Lucas Bretz. You're gonna see some really cool videos. You guys make it a great night. Much love from this side of the camera. Have a good night. Later, guys.